Today I'm going to show you exactly what a 120 performance looks like. Not perfect, but consistent. This is the level many of you are aiming for, so I'm going to focus on the strategies that get you there. Let's get started. Okay, the first part is read and select. Generously. So you know the DET is an adaptive system. It means your performance at the beginning is very important. According to your performance at the beginning, the system will decide which level to put you. So here, if you're not sure, just press no, just choose no. Regulation. Indifferent. Report. No. Restricted. If you're not sure, don't choose yes. Especially the simple words, don't make it brown. Okay, fill in the blanks. Struck by the sort of situation, couldn't have better release. I think it's giggle. It's about laughing, right? So the strategy here is to understand the situation, the context. No one expected a what at such a late hour, so everyone was startled. I think it's means something happened, right? I think it's a knock. Yeah, always try to find the situation. The sand, what on the beach? So we can know on the beach something about sand. So from these three letters, we know it's sand castle, right? Sand castle. The university has chosen to the establishment of a new department in artificial intelligence. I'm not sure, but it's okay. We don't need to be perfect to get 120. Her wedding dress was immaculately what? Even inchoate. As spotless as fresh, so we know it's as snow. It's very clean, right? So the situation is about it's clean, so just write clean. They posted amazing yet videos, thousands of what mayflies which gathered and flew together. So it's about a type of some insects, right? Flies. It's okay, so we don't. After a tornado had torn the old building, so here we should know the collocations. Torn apart, right? Torn apart old buildings. So sometimes you don't need to read the whole sentence, just quickly find the situation to understand the situation. So explorers prepared to what into the uncharted depths of the cave. Equipped, prepared to plunge, something like that. Despite being what twins, they have very different personalities. I think it's about the same, right? Identical. It's about the same. But I think we should not answer everything correctly. Otherwise, the score will go up. Otherwise, the score will go up to maybe 130. So
I became a software engineer after college.
I became a software engineer after college. So the first time is very important. You need to just write down as much as you can. Then we check if there's any missing part and details. The consistent and accuracy is more important than perfect.
I became a software engineer after college.
Okay, I became a software engineer after college. And last time we just check.
I became a software engineer after college.
Okay, there's no problem, right? Submit.
She was always a dedicated, hardworking student.
She was always a dedicated and hard-working student. Okay, so just as I said, this is adaptive system. So your performance at the beginning, like in this question, this question type is also very important. It decides where the system will put you, which level, which score level. So let's check.
She was always a dedicated, hardworking student.
Okay, I just found there isn't an end, right? So that's why we need to check.
She was always a dedicated, hardworking student.
Okay, dedicated, hardworking student. Okay, I think it's correct.
Improving the public education system will help the country compete in global markets.
Improving the what system? Public education system will help something, right? It's okay, we just if we don't know the whole sentence, just write down as much as you can, like half.
Improving the public education system will help the country compete in global markets.
Will help the country compete in global market.
Improving the public education system will help the country compete in global markets.
Okay, so if your target score is 120, you don't need to be perfect. Maybe if we make everything correct here, the score will go up over 130. So don't panic if you don't know every word. The managers map out a plan. So the title and the first sentence always give us some clues. Phase 1 began when the operations managers met in the conference room to discuss the project. You see discuss. So here we know here discussion. So sometimes you don't discussed, right? So sometimes we don't need to think about answer by ourselves. We always can find some clues. How long each ph here phase would take, and how many resources they might be able to find. They each drafted individual plans or attack for their own assigned pieces of the plan, and then discussed their with each other. Discussed their parts with each other. Yeah, that's almost done.
I'd be willing to pay.
Okay, something like be willing to pay, right?
I'd be willing to pay. I'd be willing to pay.
I think it's I'll be willing to pay.
Contrary to our expectation, the teams were quite evenly matched.
Okay, contrary to our expectation, the teams.
Contrary to our expectation, the teams were quite evenly matched.
The teams were quite evenly matched. Okay, so I don't want the score to be too high, okay, over like 130. That's just make some mistakes intentionally, okay. We don't need it evenly. We just matched, something like that. Because it's an adaptive system. If we make every question correct, it will put us to a high level and make the questions more and more difficult and high score level. So if we want to stay at 120, we just do it like with consistent. There are, okay, duct working buildings. Duct working system of pipes, ducts, and there are two types of we can just find a clue from the sentence, right? Duct work. Written and written ducts and maybe supply. Written ducts pull air from rooms in the building, and they send that air to the unit that either heats or cools the air supply. You see, supply. So you can always find answers from the paragraph itself, right? That's a very good, useful strategy. Supply ducts then blow the warm and or cool air back into the rooms. Okay.
Their first day at work was successful.
Their first day work was successful. I think maybe because our performance at the beginning was like good, so maybe the score will go over 120. The first day work was successful.
Their first day at work was successful. Their first day at work was successful.
Okay.
We've ascertained the truth.
We've ascertained the truth. Okay, don't make the score too high. Now I'm showing you how the 120 performance looks like. So what it looks like. So but in the real test, just try to be correct in every question, okay? Because if your performance at the beginning is weak, it will go opposite. The system will put you to a lower level score. So
You are a school teacher, aren't you?
you are a school teacher, aren't you? Right?
You are a school teacher, aren't you? You are a school teacher, aren't you?
Okay.
I felt very sorry that I had put them to so much trouble.
I felt very sorry. This is just a skip, okay? Just skip. Okay, I have showed it twice how to do it, so I'll just do it quickly, okay? He also suggests that afterwards it would collapse into a ball of gas from which new stars would emerge. Okay, emerge. Okay, interactive reading. Okay, so this part is a little bit challenging, right? So just find the answer from the context. Sita nervously adjusts her work on the art stand before stepping back, attempting to see her illustration through the eyes of something, right? Attempting to see her illustration through the eyes of I think others, strangers, travelers, citizens, machines, all these are irrelevant. Others. She was enrolled in a what illustration course? Powerful, no. Prestigious, negative. Yeah, just this one can work. It's about a course, right? Hoping to hone her skills and break into the competitive world of children's book illustration. As her artwork, as she studied, she glanced around the room, right? Studied, repaired, pretend just this one can work here. Taking in the works of her fellow artists, that's when she saw what? Kaya, the room. Entered the room, right? Hide the room, enter the room. The renowned children's book illustrator who was a guest instructor for the course. Would Kaya be what by her work, or it too conventional? Be impressed, right? Or find it too. A few days later, a few days, right? Weeks or days. We don't know. Just choose, I think, days. Sita was what in the corner of the shared studio space? Was sketching, right? It's about the illustration, drawing something, reviewing in the corner. She praised Sita's unique style and undeniable talent is showcased. Okay. So to fill this blank, we need to read the sentence before and after it. Okay, that's the most important strategy. Kia invited Sita to join her as apprentice to own studio, explaining how collocation could benefit both of them as they began work together. So it's about invitation to collaboration. Accept the offer, eager to learn from. Yeah, it's an offer, right? Invite, so it's an offer. From the offer, we know it's the answer, right? Sometimes just one word help us find the answer. Invite and accept the offer, eager to learn, right? All these things match. What was it enrolled in? Enrolled, just find the keyword enrolled. The strategy is about keyword enrolled. So we see enrolled in a course, right? Something course. Enrolled in a prestigious illustration course. Just choose the exact answer. Where was Sita sketching when Kara approached her? I think it's in the corner, right? Sketching in the corner, right? Just in the corner of the shared studio space. In the corner of the shared studio space. Okay. Sita was inspired to illustrate with her own style and found herself surrounded by a fellow. No, it's not that one, right? It's about Sita and Kaya lead to a series enchanting books. So it's about the result, right? We just found. As they began working together in the shared space, amazing synergy between their diverse styles emerged, creating dynamic artwork that captivated the hearts of both young and old. Which one? It's about both of them, right? Book. Nurturing, no. Hearts of younger reader and recount the crowd with display artwork. And it was right to join her, in amazing. Yeah, this one is about whole story, right? Displayed artwork to Kaya and invited and resulting amazing synergy here. Yeah. So select the best title. We need to check which one is relevant. Providing support, no. No, not this one. Inspiring story, the magic. Journey of a young illustrator. So I think this is the journey. Okay, so this one. Okay, interactive listening. First, just listen to the scenario.
You and your friend have recently gotten part-time jobs as lab assistants for a professor. You are discussing how the job is going.
Okay, so we both, what kind of schedule do you and your friend work? We both work part-time, right? Part-time. That's it. What's a common role you and share? We are both, I think it's lab assistants, right?
You and your friend have recently gotten part-time jobs as lab assistants for a professor. You are discussing how the job is going.
Lab assistants. Who are you and your friend working for? Working for professor, right? What is the topic of your conversation with your friend? We are talking about what?
You and your friend have recently gotten part-time jobs as lab assistants for a professor. You are discussing how the job is going.
We are talking about how the job is going. Okay, that's it. Actually, there's no time limit here, but for this section, there's no time limit. But you see, we have a total time limit, so don't spend too much time here. Okay, don't need to be perfect. Best option start. So your classes aren't going well. How's the job going? It's about the job.
It's going good. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, me too. I didn't realize how much work went to setting up experiment before. We are starting a new experiment today. That sounds great. Are they looking? No, that sounds great. Sounds really cool. Looking for a job on more. So yeah, me too, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. But it's really interesting to see how everything works and to be a part of the process.
Yes, it's about interesting. Exactly. No, that sound would be nice to get paid for it too. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just glad that we were able to get these positions.
Definitely have a good chance of getting a job. Yeah, me too. Professor is really great work. Yeah, it's about something good about a job, right? So, this one.
Absolutely. Everything is really organized and planned out ahead of time, which makes our jobs a lot easier.
Yeah, the professor does a great job making sure, right? It's about professor, so only this one is about professor. Okay, so we still have some time, a few minutes. So just let's just review the conversation, because in the next section we can't come back. We need to remember the information and to use it in the next section to write the summary. We were talking about part-time job as a lab assistant, right? So we think it's very interesting and useful, and professor is really great work for, right? Okay, yeah, that's the main content. Okay. My friend and I use the past tense, talked about the part-time job we were doing as lab assistants. We discussed that the job was interesting and useful, and we think the professor was good to work for. Okay, that's it. Don't look away from screen except when typing. Okay. Okay, writing. Okay. The photo depicts 4 people who are working in the office. So the people are sitting at the table and working with laptops. In the background there is a door and purple wall. Okay, so you don't need to use complex words, but the clear structure is very important. Okay, that's how you get to 120. Write about topic below. Many people visit museums when they travel to new place. Why do you think people visit a museum? Okay, so it's about explanation. So first we need to find the type of the topic. Then we use the structure according to the type. This is about explanation. Okay, you can find all the structure in my guide on my website, and also the training system in my website. So it's about explanation. So I think first give your opinion. Okay, I think visiting museums are very important and helpful because it helps people to learn some knowledge. Okay, so one benefit is that people can learn, can get a better understanding of the local history and culture by visiting the museum. Another benefit is that we can also learn some useful knowledge from the trip to museum, which can help our academic performance. Then we give an example. Okay, you don't need to use some difficult words, but clear structure is important, and give a long and structured answer. For example, last year when I was studying in middle school, I always visit the local history museum, and I learned lots of useful things that improved my performance in the history class. Okay, then give a conclusion. Overall, people visit, many people like visiting museum because they benefit a lot from the trip. Okay, so this is only an example. In the real test, just try to write as much as you can, but the clear structure is the most important, okay? And if you want to learn all the details of the structures and templates for different kinds of questions, I just classified all the writing topics into 3 different types. So you can find the details from the guide on my website, and also do more practice on the training system of the website. Okay, write a follow-up response. How does the wish to experience culture deeply influence individual choices to visit museums during their travel? I think when people have a strong will to experience the local culture of some places, they will go to some municipal museums to learn more information and culture choices. And if they have some special interests in some fields, they will also go visit the relevant museum related to their interests. Give an example, okay? For example, if they are interested in sailing and shapes, they will go to the like maritime museum. Okay, that's it. Okay, so now I'm just showing you how to get to 120. So for you, if you still have time, just try to write as much as possible, okay? Okay, speaking. Okay, from the main character and the details and the environment, and give some like comments and opinion. The photo depicts a few people who are sitting at the table and reading a book, and we can see there are 4 people, and in the middle we can see a girl who is wearing glasses, and she's also holding a cup in front of her, and she has black hair and is wearing gray t-shirt. And on her left side there is another girl who is also wearing glasses and reading the book, and there's also a pink cup in front of her. And on the left side there is another girl who is also watching the book holding by the girl beside her. And on the right side, we can see another person who is wearing a yellow t-shirt, and in the background we can see some trees, and there is a red roof to block the sunlight maybe. So I think maybe they're camping or doing some volunteering work. Okay, give a clear structure. Press speak about topic below. Discuss the skills you can develop by getting together and studying with others in a group. How do you think these skills could be helpful in a future job? How does studying? Skills you can develop by getting together. Okay, I think one skill that we can develop very well by getting together with others is communication skills, right? Because communication is about to talk and discuss and interact with other people. So in a group, it gives a very good setting for us to discuss some topics and exchange different opinions. And sometimes you need to convince other people to do something. So in this process, your communication skills will develop a lot. And this is very helpful in the future job, because when you're doing some work, you always need to communicate with your colleagues or your boss or the customers, which determines your final success. Okay, so how does studying with others encourage development of these skills? Because when we're studying with others, sometimes they can inspire us, right? Especially when we lose confidence or we don't have the motivation. Other people sometimes can boost our energy because we can have a same pace to do something together. That's how it really works and helpful. Okay, so prepare to have a conversation. We have 35 seconds, just a clear structure, okay? Opinion and explanation and example. Okay, it's 3 parts, clear parts.
I'd like to ask you a few questions about birthdays. What are some ways that people celebrate birthdays?
I think the common way that people celebrating birthday is to organize a party. For example, last year I just organized a party for my birthday, and I invited many friends and classmates, and it was really enjoyable. We had a great time.
I see. I have another question. How would you plan a birthday party for a coworker, friend, or family member?
I think we should decide the place and the time and the decorations for the birthday party, because this is very important for the experience of all the participants, right? For example, last year I just chose a very interesting park to invite all my friends to my birthday party, and they had a really great time.
I see. Let me ask you another question. Do you think social media has had an impact on birthday celebrations? Why?
Well, I think nowadays social media has great impacts on celebrating birthday parties, because everybody just scrolling their phone and check some video clips on social media, so they can learn something from it. For example, they might learn the decoration, how to decorate the place for the party.
Thanks for talking about birthdays with me. Now I'd like to change topics and ask you a few questions about cost-saving strategies. Tell me what people do to save money.
I think the most common way that people do to save money is to make a budget. Because when they have a budget, they don't just spend their money randomly, right? For example, I have a budget like I only spend $500 for each month, so I won't spend more money over it.
Okay, let me ask you another question. Describe some meals or snacks that don't cost much to make.
Well, some meals and snacks that doesn't cost much money is like some bread or cookies, because they only need some flour and sugar and salt, just like that. For example, last week I just made some cookies at home and with just some flours, water, and milk, like that.
Okay, I've got a different question. How can cooking at home save money compared to eating out?
Well, cooking at home can save money because it has some obvious reasons. When we cook at home, we don't need to pay for the service charge, right? So, for example, we just only need to buy some ingredients for the food and spend a little bit electricity power to cook the food. That's the whole cost. We save the labor fees, right?
Thanks for discussing cost-saving strategies with me. Have a nice day.
Okay, so you can see the clear structure, and you should write on the topic, right? Answer the question. If you off the topic, even if you answer the question, the score will low, right? You need to just listen to the keyword of the questions. Okay, so last part, writing the speaking sample. Okay, 5 minutes. I think I don't feel like spending too much time on this part. We just do it quickly and skip. Okay, what is the most unusual food that you have ever eaten? Why did it decide? It's about the personal experience. This structure. Okay. I would like to talk about a time I ate an type of unusual food, which was fried insects. Okay, and at first, my friend served me with some fried insects, which were popular in their hometown. Then I was shocked at the first, but I decided to give it a shot. It tasted very good because it was crispy and a bit sweet. That experience was meaningful to me because it taught me that sometimes we should not judge a food by its appearance. Okay, so now I have a clear structure, right? So the topic, what I'm gonna talk about, and what happened first and what happened then, and why it's meaningful. It's a full structure. And again, so I'm not gonna give a very long answer here because I'm just showing a demo, right? But in the real test, don't waste time. Try to write as much as you can with clear structure, and you don't need to use some complex words, but just give a long enough answer and with clear structure. Okay, just skip. And final speak. Some people like to spend their free time creating original things. Describe someone you know who does creative things such as painting or music. Describe what they do and explain what you like about it. Okay, so again, structure is important and don't off the topic. It's about someone like spending free time creating original things. Okay. Okay, I'd like to talk about someone who likes to spend free time creating original things like painting or playing, making something with Play-Dohs. It's my son. He really enjoys painting on some white paper, like drawing some aliens, monsters, or sometimes he also draws some like a system, like the whole production system of the French fries, or sometimes he draws a park. He really enjoys it, and he also enjoys doing some creative things like making things with Play-Dohs. For example, yesterday he made some very cute pigs and snails with Play-Dohs. I think I really like about it because in the process of doing these creative things, he can develop a lot of like imagination, and also his creativity is also improved, and sometimes it's also inspiring. So yeah, that's why I really like it. Okay, so now I'm just to give a demo, and in the real test, just try to speak as much as you can and use the full time. Okay, let's just submit and skip and to see our final score. Try one. Oh, not today. Okay, you see, so you see we just got to 125, 235, right? A little bit over my original target. But you can see the whole process is not about being perfect, but to be consistent, right? Especially at the beginning part. You need to have accuracy and try to make everything correct because it's an adaptive system. If your performance is poor at the beginning, it will put you to a lower level score. Okay, through the whole process, I show you a clear structure in each part. That's the key. That's the important strategy. Okay, so if you want to know the full guidance and with details for each section, you can find the guide on my website, jeenglish.com, and you can also do some focused training on my website, which help you to learn the structure and improve your performance under time pressure. Okay, so see you next one.